Good morning, friends. So I guess I'm gonna just say, when you are in a space that seems tight, or just like it's impossible for certain things to work, or it seems like God may have worked around the middle somewhere, but then it goes to like another extreme, I would just encourage you to just stay the course, because in all of that, it's working together for God's good. And he knows the plans that he has for us, thoughts to prosper us, and not to harm us, to give us a future and a hope. And in Hebrews 11:1, it says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And so in order for you to really tap in to that space where God has you, that's like in the unknown, or you're just like, man, it just feels like there's no direction, like you're just there, and it's like you'll get little guidance here and there, but it's like you're still just like, that's not enough for me to like know the answer that I really, really need, but it's enough for that day. So thank God for what he gives you for that day, because he's probably telling you don't worry about tomorrow. He's giving you enough to get through with today, but in all things trust him, because through that there's going to be a pruning, there's going to be a purifying, there's going to be a sanctifying that happens in that timing. But it's only if you press in. You see, there's sometimes when we have set our eyes too long on the flesh, right? We're looking with our physical eyes. We stop really or we've become too distracted to really focus on what's happening in the spirit realm. But when God removes that veil, right, he's requiring something of you to let go of in order to make that space for him to move. And so I was just thinking, I'm like, I had a breakdown point. I'm like, Lord, you took me from one craziness to the next craziness, like where it seemed like it, right? I'm like, I prayed so hard to get out of one place, right? And then I get to a new place, and it's like the friction went up, baby, 100. Like it was, I'm like, I am not understanding. Like, please, for the love of God, please, because I just, like, I would explain this season of finding the words and then losing them immediately all over again. Like, that is what it felt like. But then when I finally came at end with myself, because I had to look within, and in anything, you have to always look back at yourself. God was requiring me to let go. He showed me like I was holding on to certain things in the spirit, holding on like this. And it's like, okay, so that video ended. It's a red light. So yes, God was showing me that I was holding on to things in the spirit, like super tight, like hugging it, because I didn't know how to let go. And oftentimes, sometimes letting go of things that we've held on to for so long, it can feel unsafe to do, or like lonely. It just feels like this abandoned space, because it was comfort. That's what it's like. What you were holding on to was comfort. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So it feels disheartening. It feels uncomfortable to let it go, even though it's hurting. This thing is hurting you. It's displeasing to you. It's displeasing to God. All of the things, right? And so when he showed me that, he was basically saying that letting go of things does not mean that, whether it's a relationship or whatever the case may be, that it's not going to come back to you. But what it means is that God is going to orchestrate it the way that it's supposed to be. Letting go is just releasing it to God, because you're saying, I'm done holding on to this, trying in my own strength, because you can't believe and not believe God at the same time. Like, it's not possible. It's ineffective. And so in order for God to bring us into one mind, one body, one heart with him, we have to come into alignment with him as one, right? So we let go of the thing, we give it to God, we become one with what God is requiring of us and what he's asking us to do, as difficult as it may be. But I'm telling you, once I let go of certain things in the spirit, that is when doors started opening up for me. That is when I began to get peace. Like, when I began to just, even though I was still in my same circumstance, I was different. My mind was different. My heart began to change. Like, I changed. And so in that, it was just like, I'm looking for change in so many other things, but I'm not doing what God has required of me, which is surrender, true surrender. And how many times you can go say that you're surrendering, lay it down, pick it back up, lay it down, pick it back up. But God's requiring us that when we lay something down, we leave it there, to cast all of our cares on him, because he truly cares for us. And so if you're just like in a space where it's just like, Lord, I don't know. But when you're in the unknown, God says, you will hear a voice saying, this is the way you should go. Walk in it. Do not look to the left or to the right. And so it is a space where he's enhancing your ability to hear him and to follow him. And he may ask you to do something. He may lead you to a